Hi, thanks for joining me. This is Angie at Chicken Scratch, and this is the project we're making today. And this is week 6 of the 12 weeks of Halloween. Okay, so here's the supplies we're going to be using today, and all the measurements will be on your free PDF over on my website. If you're watching this video on YouTube, you can find that link in the description. Okay, so the only stamping we're doing is the greeting right here, so we'll go ahead and do that first. We're using the Bag of Bones suite of product, and then also the Tricks and Treats, so that's where the ink is from. I'm using pumpkin pie ink. Okay. Now for the ribbon here, we've colored that with our Pumpkin Pie Stampin' Blends marker. So I've already done that in advance so that it could dry. It also makes it stiffer, but I'm going to show you how I did that on just a sample piece of ribbon here. So I place it on my silicone craft sheet. I use the brush tip end, and then I just hold the ribbon and then gently press and slide. So you can color that entire piece really quickly. Okay, now we're going to make the box. So that is this piece of cardstock right here. This measures 7 by 6.5. Okay, so we're going to start on the 7-inch side, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch, 2 3/4, 3 3/4, and 6. We're going to turn it on the 6.5-inch side and score it at 1 inch, 5 inch, and 6. We're going to fold on all of those score lines and burnish it with our bone folder. Okay, so here's what it looks like right now, and this is what it's going to look like when we're done, okay? We're going to start over here on this 1/2 inch section, and we're going to completely remove this piece. I'm just going to angle cut that a bit, and we're going to remove both of these sections here. I'm not used to cutting paper with my paper snips. Okay, so then down here, we're going to cut up to the score line on all 3 of these score lines. And then we're going to trim or angle cut these tabs. Okay, now let's move to the top of the box. And I'm going to change scissors. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to cut down to that second score line. I'm going to do this on all 3, okay? And then we're going to fold these 2 down for now. And we are going to cut this off and this off. I went from one extreme to another. I went from really small scissors to really large scissors. My normal ones are upstairs where I was when I was cutting ribbon shares. Okay, so now we're almost done. What we want to do is completely remove this section. Okay, so I'm going to fold those tabs in so I don't accidentally cut them. And I'm going to cut straight across. So here's what it looks like now. I'm going to be using 2 retired punches. One is the Detailed Trio punch, and this just has a corner rounder in it, so any corner rounder will do. And we're just going to round the corners. Okay, there's that part. And then now we want to make a little half circle there. I'm using the 3/4 inch. You can use a 1 inch, a 1/2 inch, whatever circle punch you have. Okay, there's that. We're going to reuse this when we add the Designer Series paper. So let's go ahead and do that now. all the measurements will be on your free PDF. So we're going to add this one here. And I'm just going to use my liquid glue. Okay, there's that. And then this is going to go here. And look, I put them upside down. So we'll put all of them upside down. See, I didn't even pay attention to the fact that the bats were upside down. But hey, that's how they sleep, right? They sleep upside down, so it was an intentional mess up. Okay, now this one. And then the final piece goes here. Since I've done everything else upside down, I'm going to keep it consistent and place them upside down as well. Now, there's not much overhanging there, but it is just a smidge. So I'm going to re-punch that. And then now we're ready to add our tear and tape here. Okay, so just one strip of tear and tape. Okay, so I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool to remove the backing. I'm going to fold this down and then fold this over, okay? Now this is the front bottom of my box, so I'm going to put my tear and tape on this piece. Okay, fold it like this, and then fold this over. You want to make sure it's straight before you fold that over, okay? And then now inside here, I have a snack bag of peanut M&Ms. Yummy, right? Okay, so we'll pretend that I put those in there. Now we can go ahead and add our ribbon. This is 16 inches. You can use more or you can use less. I do want to make sure that, see, one side is shorter than the other. And we can trim the ends when we're done with the project, but for now, our ribbon is done. Okay, so now the next step is to add our mausoleum and this centerpiece here. So I'm gonna use liquid glue. And then we're going to use liquid glue to add it to the box. Okay, so there's that part. For this and the paper, we're going to be die cutting, okay? Okay, the first thing we're going to do is die cut this skeleton. And I meant to show you earlier, these are the dies that we're using today. The only one not in the bag of bones is this one here, and that's in the Tricks and Treats bundle. Okay, so for this one, I am going to use some tape to hold it down, because if you'll notice on your pack of paper, you don't have a lot of the pumpkin skeletons. You can use a different color, but that's just the color that we went with for this one. Okay, so I'm just going to roll this through. Okay, here he is. And now I'm going to cut another piece out, or another skeleton out, using the basic black. Bring this back around so you can see it. What we're doing is just making the skeleton a little bit sturdier. And now we're going to cut out the greeting. Okay, so what we're going to do now is attach this to the basic black, again, just to make it a little bit sturdier. You could use adhesive sheet on this if you wanted to, but it's okay if you don't. The liquid glue works. Just need a little bit more liquid glue right there, and then we're done. Okay, he is going to get popped up with dimensionals. So one basic black dimensional there. And then I'm going to use a mini down here. Okay, there he is. Now we need to add the greeting. We're going to take some of the basic black twine and loop it through there. And then we're going to tie it around the ribbon and kind of hide the ends of it. If it had something in it, it would stand. Okay, so just going to loop this. And you can, if you want it to stay put, you can actually use a mini glue dot and glue it right there. I'm okay with it moving around, but if you want it to stay put, just use a glue dot. Or you could use a dot of, why am I tying a bow? I'm tying a knot, actually. Making it more difficult for myself. Okay, so now I'm just gonna push that to the back and trim the ends. And then I'm going to kind of slide that around so that it's on the bottom. There we go. And the final step is for our embellishment. Now, I know that the glow-in-the-dark embellishment sold out very quickly on day one, actually. Some of y'all were able to get them, so I'm going to use them. But then, just like for Card Club, I'm going to show you an alternative choice. So I'm going to add a ghost up here. And unfortunately, they are not coming back in stock. We were told this week that they are gone for good. So I am so sorry. That doesn't usually happen, but it did this time. So I don't know who all bought those glow-in-the-dark things, but sadly, I only got one pack and one pack only. Okay, so let me show you the other embellishment. These are the ones I used for Card Club, and they worked out really well. So you can decorate here, 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 wherever you want, and you can choose. For this project, I would stick with the black or the silver. Yeah. Okay, so that wraps up this project. Don't forget to print your free PDF, and if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks so much. Have a great day.